Welcome to today's Facebook Live. We are talking all things back to school with the Quintuplets and Landon and Shayden. We're also talking about our recent move, as well as life updates, family updates, dating. I know I've had a lot of DMs come in about various topics, so we'll be covering all of that. It is back to school night today, so I'm excited to go attend that. My kids are actually going to be at their dad's house, and so hopefully they go to that, but I will be attending that, meeting all the teachers. I'm really excited to meet my kids' teachers, and we'll be talking about how they were all split up and divided up this year. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to say hello and say where you're from. Susan, you were the first person that I'm seeing on here. Hello, welcome. So represent your state, represent your country. It's so fun to make those connections and see our viewers are from all over the world. It's so fun to see that. And I love going through the comments and again, seeing where everybody lives. It's so fun to make those connections. We are wrapping up summer here at the Scott household. And so we are just getting in the last of our playing time with all the kids. Noreen, it's good to see you. Noreen is from Ohio. Jenna is joining us from Mount Pleasant, Utah. Welcome, Jenna. And Marlene is joining us from Virginia. Deb is from Indiana, and Jamie is from Ontario. Welcome. And Stephanie is joining us from New Zealand. So I am broadcasting today from Grandma and Grandpa Smith's house, my parents' home, because I am in transition of moving. So I was actually hoping to give all of you that join me for today's Facebook Live video, just like an early viewing of the new property that I did find and that we are going to be staying at, but I couldn't get over in time with moving, with all of that. My hair was like crazy, and so I just barely did my hair for the day. So anyway, stay tuned for the up and coming vlog. I will be sharing with all of you the new place that we picked out. I think my kids are gonna love it. Heather is joining us from Nebraska. It's good to see you. And Raquel is joining us from Salt Lake City. We've got people joining us from Canada. Doreen, it's good to see you. And Angie is from Colorado. Coletta is joining us from Riverside, Illinois. Love you and your family. Thank you. And we've got people joining us from St. George, Utah. We've got people from North Carolina, Torrance, California. Jean, it's good to see you. And Shellen, is that how I say your name? Hi. And Priscilla is joining us. And we've also got Tina Young from the UK. I love our people from the UK. They're the best. Our Australians and our people from the UK are the best. Michigan, have you ever been to Taffy Town in St. George? No. I've had people comment that it's really good, but I've not been in there, and it's probably something that the Quints could have. We've got people joining us from Mesquite, Nevada, and Christine is joining us from Maine. Noreen is from Chicago. Kathy is from Sweden. Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you on here. And Kathleen is from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Beth, it's good to see you as well. So as people are jumping on here, I'm just going to dive into questions that were pre-submitted. We've got people joining us from Snohomish, Washington. You all know how much I love Washington State. I lived there for a couple years while Skylar, my kid's dad, was going to school. Okay, so today we are talking back to school. It is back to school night today for our family. The quintuplets have been divided up into 4 different classes. So we're going to be talking about that here in just a second. Amy M. Youngman asks, will the Quints be going to the same school since you moved, and are they ready to go back? So my kids are going to be attending the same school. I really love this school. The principal's great. And one of my kids has the same teacher that they had for kindergarten last year. So I've really wanted to stay within the same school boundaries, primarily for Landon with moving. And we'll cover moving here in just a second. So yes, my kids will be at the same school. We have divvied them up into 4 different classes. Virginia was one of the gals that asked, are the kids going to be in the same class? So we've divvied them up 4 classes. Lincoln and Violet have the same teacher. They are the only 2 that'll be in the same class. And Daisy and Logan and Lily have their own teacher as well. Logan has the same teacher as he had in kindergarten. She's very patient with him, very understanding, and she's a really great teacher. And then Daisy Kate this year has a teacher. I was so excited looking through my email that I went to school with. So she is fabulous. She was in my friend group growing up, so she's just wonderful. So I'm really excited to have these ladies as my children's teachers. So I'm gonna go meet two of them that I've never met before, I don't think. So I'm really excited to get to know them better. And there was debate in the beginning whether or not to keep the kids, all the girls together and all the boys together in two separate classes, or to do like boy, girl, and have like 3 and 2 in a class. So after counseling with the principal and the teachers and their dad, Skylar, we decided to split them up into 4 different classes. We're gonna see how that goes. I think it's a good combination though, honestly, having Violet kind of take the lead with Lincoln, since she's the oldest and he's one of the younger kids of the quintuplets. I think it'll be a really good balance, and hopefully a good balance for the teacher and the rest of the classroom. So I am excited about that. We're gonna see how that goes volunteering in the classroom, because last year I wanted to volunteer in the classroom 3 times a week. So I was there 3 times a week, and that way I was able to see my kids on the off weeks that they were with their dad and I didn't get to see them. So this year it's gonna be a little bit different if I want to volunteer in the classroom, but I think it can work. So any of you gals that have volunteered in the classroom, if you've had twins, if you've had multiples, I would love to know in the comments, how did you do it? Did you split your kids up eventually, and did you still continue to volunteer in the classroom? Because I want it to be as smooth as can be, but I want to be very involved in my kids' lives and in the classroom and helping the teacher and getting to know who my kids' friends are. So I am excited about that, but it is going to be a little bit different this year. Mary Lou is joining us from Texas. Mary Lou, welcome. It's good to see you. Okay, Stephanie asked, when does school start? So for us, school starts next week on August 12th. I believe it's the same day for Landon as well. Landon is going into the 9th grade, and he's really excited. He signed up for some classes that he is excited about. I know he signed up for choir. He really loves the choir teacher, and as I was looking at the necessity to need to move for our family just based on our financial situation, I really wanted to make sure we stayed in the same school district, especially for Landon. So if the quintuplets had to change elementary schools, that wasn't as hard, I think, as Landon, because that was really important to him. And so Linda's joining us from Austin, Texas. It's good to see you. So Landon's excited to have that same choir teacher, and he's hoping just to make some good new friendships, have some new experiences this year. So we're really excited for Landon, really proud of him, his mom and dad. He has signed up for choir. He's continuing to do guitar lessons with Thomas Ritchie. If any of you are local to the Southern Utah area, Mr. Thomas Ritchie is a wonderful teacher. He's really patient, really good with kids, and he teaches a little bit of vocal along with the guitar lessons. Now, Landon is really shy, so when it comes to performing, he's a little bit more reserved. Now, if it comes to like performing with his dad, who's already musically talented and inclined, he's a little more comfortable sharing with that. So we'll just see as he gains confidence with himself as he's learning to play the guitar. But I would love to be able to share that with you sometime, but he's still just a little bit shy when it comes to playing for our family and me in particular. So I'm able to kind of overhear as he's in these guitar lessons, what he's working on, what he's learning. But I'm really excited. He'll be in the 9th grade, which is still considered middle school in St. George, Utah, but he is technically in the high school. So this year grades start counting. So Shayden and I have both talked to Landon about the importance of that. Kathleen is saying I had twins and they were always in separate classrooms. I know we've had parents that prefer kids to be in the same classes as twins or multiples. And we also have parents that find that it's really important for their children to have their own identity and split kids up in classes. And so I love, as I'm gonna go through and read back through these comments, I love taking into consideration the women that have gone before me, at least with multiples. I know a lot of people don't have quintuplets. So I do gather that information and take it into consideration in choosing what's the best option for the kids and I. But I love sharing your knowledge and wisdom in raising your kids, especially those of you that had big families and those of you that have had multiples. So anyway, yeah, back to school. We're excited about that. Gina says, or asks, are the Quints and Landon excited to go back to school? Yes, I think Landon is excited to see his friends again on a daily basis. Having those social needs is really important to him, especially having siblings that are quintuplets. So yes, he is excited, but he's not so excited about the part of actually having to do the homework and the work of school, but the learning, the choir class, and socializing, he's definitely excited about that. The quintuplets, I think they are excited and proud that they're going to be in 1st grade. And I think Logan is especially going to be excited because it's the same teacher from last year. He really loves her. She's a really good teacher. And I think she was my sister Kate, she has 3 kids. I know that she was at least one of those kids' kindergarten teacher as well. So she's amazing. So yeah, the kids are excited about seeing their friends again. I think that's going to be fun. Diane is joining us from Ohio. We've got somebody saying I didn't have multiples, but 4 in 4 different schools, 4 different age brackets. Wow, that is a stretch. And I'm going to be feeling that this year as I am driving kids to their school because the bus does not come out where I live. Irene is from California. I've just gone back to school today as a teacher in Sweden, looking forward to seeing the kids after so many weeks. So I do miss that classroom setting. I do miss the consistency of school. It's really helpful with transitions for the quintuplets between dad and I. We always get questions like that, like what are transitions still like between mom and dad's house? And I think adding school into the mix, it just makes it easier for the kids of knowing what comes next. Jennifer, it's good to see you. You're from Swaney, Georgia. I think I might have had ancestry that were Native American that originated from Swaney, Georgia, perhaps, that were Native American. I think the Cherokee and Choctaw nations originally inhabited those areas. I'm not quite sure. You might know the answer to that before they crossed the Trail of Tears. So I do feel like tied to Georgia, not that far back, on my little grandma's husband, so my grandpa's side of the family. So welcome. Hard to believe they are in first grade already. I am excited. We'll see how it goes. This year they'll have probably a little bit more homework. So as far as balancing that, with the quintuplets, we're going to see how that goes. I know that the quints are going to have reading assignments. And so if I can focus on anything this year with the quintuplets and teaching them at home with homework, I'll be counseling with the teachers about that. I really want to spend more time with my kids reading. So as soon as they get home, we'll do after school snacks and reading, but I will be sharing along the way the highs and lows and all the things that I'm learning as I'm raising my kids as a single mom. With the quintuplets in first grade, we're going to see how that goes. I've never done that before. I've had 2 first graders, Shayden and Landon, and it was easy breezy. Landon in the first grade, though, had about 45 minutes of homework every single day. So we are really going to have to simplify with the quintuplets as far as homework. And so I'll just be communicating with the teachers and their dad about that. But I am excited for them to go back to school. Brittany asked, do you think you will do the 2 weeks on and off next summer with your co-parenting with Skylar and I, their dad and I? That is a co-parenting question. So dad and I will reassess, I think, at the end of the school year and kind of decide what we want to do. I primarily had asked for that in case dad or I wanted to do like a 2-week vacation somewhere, because it is a lot of work to go from point A to point B, especially if we want to travel far away, like to Washington State or these other places that we absolutely love. We love traveling to the Northwest. We love going to California. We love going to the beach, and it's a lot of work to pack up, unpack all the things. So that was mainly why we did it, and we just thought it would be easier for the kids. So we'll reassess at the end of the summer, see how it goes. It is always a learning curve for us as co-parents when it comes to what's best with quintuplets. Penny is joining us from New Zealand. I love your family and your videos. Penny, that's so sweet. We really have quite a large fan base from New Zealand. Penny, I would love to know, how did you originally hear about our family? I know in the UK and I know in Australia, they had released a couple of magazines and news articles that featured our family. And I know that it made worldwide news back in the day. And so I know that's how a lot of you found out about us. And then I know a lot of you originally started following us that are friends, family, neighborhood, church congregations, and then also that original video when my water broke and my kid's dad, Skylar, had shared that video, and it was one of those viral videos that went all around the world. So I know a lot of you started following way back then. But I would love to know also in the comments how each of you kind of came across our channel, our family, heard about us. I am just so very grateful that the kids have such a wonderful support system. We've got somebody joining us from Hungary, from Budapest. Welcome. You were doing a great job raising your kids, Jenna Hansen. That is so very kind of you. I'm doing my best. I'm learning as I go. With Shayden and Landon, it was pretty simple, pretty easygoing kids. The big boys really didn't fight, and because of infertility, they were spaced. And so there was just a lot of one-on-one time with those kids. And so it's a little bit different having quintuplets and with their dad and I being a single dad and a single mom, it just looks a little bit different, but we are each doing our best. And I'm grateful that you are supporting me and supporting my kids' dad in raising these wonderful kids. We've got somebody joining us from Western New York, and Kimberly is joining us from Las Vegas. Andrea says, I missed where and why you moved. Love your family. So Andrea, with inflation, with my overhead, when I purchased that home, there weren't a lot of homes on the market. I didn't have a ton of options a year and a half ago. When I purchased that property, my finances were a lot higher then. Interest rates were 7.2% when I bought that house. I did buy it down by a point, but still my overhead has been so high for this year and a half. I've really needed to simplify. And so in doing so, it frees up a lot of extra money for my family, so that I can support my family and create opportunities and experiences for my kids and giving them the best possible childhood that I possibly can. And so so for those of you that missed this, I did list my house several weeks ago on a Friday. We showed the home 20 times on a Saturday, and by Sunday we had 5 offers for that property. And by Monday morning, that house was under contract. So I really didn't have time to really think about quite yet where we were moving to. And so again, I just kind of needed to hustle and find a space that was in the same school district, primarily for Landon, but as much as possible for the quintuplets as well, so that there's as much consistency for my kids as it possibly can be. So I did find a townhome. It is one that we are going to be renting. I will be answering the many reasons as to why I chose to rent and not to buy here in a little bit in this next segment that I'll be talking about. I'm really excited. This place has really good lighting. Did you move into your new place yet, is Jordan's question. I am starting to move in as of late last night, and I tried filming a segment for you guys, but the lighting was terrible late at night. So we are just taking over loads as we can, but the heat, I think it's like extreme heat going on here in Southern Utah right now. So like not a weather advisory, but like when it gets really hot in St. George, everyone's kind of notified of that. And so we're just really trying to pace ourselves. So I've got my boyfriend helping, my mother helping, and my dad helping. And then Saturday morning, anybody that's friends and neighbors that knows me really well, we are going to be moving into the property 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So if you've got a truck, if you've got trailers, that's what we'll be doing Saturday morning. Primarily that heat advisory. That's what Chris is saying. Yes, that's what it's called. And I'm one of those that's really sensitive to both heat and humidity this time of year. Where I just want to black out and pass out a lot. And so I don't know if it's like I'm underweight, if it's stress related, I'm probably dehydrated, all of the above. So I just really have to pace myself. Krista asks, which house did you get? Brenda wants to know, boyfriend, tell me more. Okay, 2 cool things. I almost filmed this segment for you guys at the new place for all of you. Like, you're my favorite people that watch these lives. I'm so very grateful for each of you. But I couldn't get over to the house in time enough, and I don't know how well I have internet service and reception. So I wanted to make sure I was able to film this on time. And then I thought about inviting the boyfriend over to come on the live so that you guys can meet him. I think last week when there were just a lot of mean comments, I was like, I don't know that I want to introduce this sweet man to some of these people that are just really mean, because he is just sweet as can be. And I know he's read the comments and about cried because he's like, some people are just so mean. So I really want to introduce all of you to him. So if you have questions about him, you can leave them in the comments. I will be going back. I will be including him in an up and coming vlog. For anybody asking about the boyfriend, he has been in some of the Instagram and Facebook stories that I have shared. He actually, in the vlog where I talk about going to meet my boyfriend's family, he was originally the way I had filmed it in the vlog, but for whatever reason, Kyle, our editor, cut him out of the original segment. And so all it shows is his arm. So anyway, I'm really excited to introduce you guys to him. He is sweet as can be. And I've gone on lots of dates in the last, you guys know I dated Austin for a while. I've gone on lots of dates with all different types of people. And I think in the end, the thing that matters most to me, it's not how much money somebody makes. It's not what they look like. It's not what their last name is, who they are. To me, it's all about finding that companionship, that best friend, and ultimately marriage of somebody who's incredibly kind, somebody who's positive, somebody who's bright, somebody that has a really healthy relationship with their co-parent, who's not high conflict, somebody that treats my kids and myself with so much respect, dignity, grace, kindness. This guy kind of has an accent. He almost sounds like a cowboy. He's going to be watching this or going back and watching this, but he kind of dresses like an athlete. So this person is just incredibly kind, and I'm just really grateful he's a part of my life right now. So we're taking it day by day. We're going to see how it goes. I will be answering some specific questions about that here in a little bit that people sent in the DMs. But I am excited to introduce you to him. I did get the opportunity to meet his 3 amazing children. He has a 21-year-old daughter that's going to school here at Utah Tech. He's got a 16-year-old daughter that is super bright, highly intelligent, wants to be a doctor. And then he's got a 13-year-old son that reminds me so much of Landon. And so I got to spend time with Quade. His son's name is Quade, up at our family cabin. So we have spent a lot of time together, getting to know each other and getting to know his son. He has remarkable children, and I really respect his co-parent. She's amazing as well. So hopefully you guys get to meet him in an up-and-coming vlog or a live video. I'm really excited about that. We've got somebody saying, glad you found a kind man. He's lucky to be in your life, and vice versa. I agree. And I'll have to tell you our dating story a little bit more here later in this live video. I love that you guys are so interested in all of this. I may or may not share his name in this live video. Sue asked, chickens and buddies in the new place? No. I really love having chickens. I really love having rabbits, but at the new place, I signed a contract and I'm not allowed to have pets. And so the bunnies are being gifted to a really sweet neighbor and friend. And then the chickens are now rehoused at my mom's house, Grandma and Grandpa Smith's house, because they had a fox come and eat 4 of their chickens. It broke into that coop, which they thought it was secure. And so they had 4 chickens die, and I lost one of my chickens with the heat. It kind of had a deformed leg, so it couldn't take the heat, and I just think health-wise was a little bit off. So I had 4 chickens left over, and since we were moving, it was perfect timing. So I sold the coop on Facebook Marketplace to a gal that lives up in Vail, Utah. So anyway, yeah, so the coop is sold. The chickens are now at Grandma Smith's house, which the Quints love because we can still bring home eggs and we can still see our chickens. But as far as the bunnies, I really, really wanted to keep them. I was really excited because I was hoping to build them a bigger play area. So that hutch that I originally had was gifted to me by a sweet friend for free, and I was very grateful. So it was a starting point, and I was hoping to stay in this house as long as I could, but I just couldn't make it happen. But my plan with those rabbits was to expand so that they had a play area. So if you guys have seen on Pinterest or online, there's little rabbit play areas that you can build and create for your pet rabbits. And I thought that would have been perfect for the quintuplets to spend time with the bunnies and the rabbits every single day, for them to get their daily exercise. And I loved having rabbits because we always had leftover kitchen scraps like cucumbers and bananas, occasionally strawberries, and just things that we could feed that were fresh for those sweet little rabbits. And I really love the Holland Lot breed. They're really great with kids. They're very gentle. They're very mild in nature. And so in a year's time, when I'm done, I am renting. When I am done renting, I would love again to have rabbits. I've been really impressed with the breeder, the responsible breeder that we did source them through, Holland Lot Rabbitry, which is out of Idaho. I think these rabbits were just really accustomed to being around children. So very family friendly. And with my family, I would love to have a cat, but I'm highly allergic to cats. And I would love to have a dog. I still would love to have a dog one day. Maybe if I remarry down the road and my my kids' stepdad potentially is helpful with the dog and the kids too, that would be perfect. But Landon and Violet are highly allergic to dogs. We'd have to have a hypoallergenic dog, but even then Landon's still allergic, so we'd have to see. Judy asks, is your new apartment near your mom's and Skylar's? So the cool thing about Southern Utah is just about everywhere is about 12 to 15 minutes of a drive. So to get to Dad's house, it's going to be about a 15-minute drive. So it's about 5 minutes farther than right now. And to my parents' house, it's going to be at about a 12-minute drive. And to the school, it's going to be about a 12-minute drive. So it is on the outskirts of town. If you are needing to rent and you need affordable housing, they're now starting to build on the outskirts of our town as our little town is expanding. And so I was able to find affordable townhome out that direction. I wish it was closer to school, and I wish the buses bust out to where I'm living. Are the kids going to a new school? No. So Chris, all the kids are going to be attending the same schools, which I'm really excited about and really grateful for, and I think the kids will be too. So let's dive into the moving and all of that. We have... Okay, Granny Suzanne over on Instagram asked a very clever question. She said, are you renting instead of buying because you see a marriage in your future? I'm going to answer that yes. I don't want to be locked into a place with capital gains for a couple years just in case I do decide to remarry any time within the next year, year and a half. It is something that I do take into consideration. It is something that I have talked about. Not with all of you, but in my personal support system with my people, that is something that potentially could happen as I'm getting to know this person that I really, really like right now. So I did consider buying and I considered renting, but there was only one place that was within my price range that I could afford. And it was originally that house that I showed everybody that was a townhome, that was the 3-bedroom, and it had a loft. And I was debating turning that loft, throwing up some drywall with a new boyfriend and his family and some other people to turn that into a 4th bedroom. But the house, it didn't have as great of lighting as I hoped. It had a teeny tiny backyard, as you all saw. And I would have been locked into it for 2 years to not have to pay capital gains. And I need to be able to have my finances freed up a little bit just in case I need it financially. But I also wasn't so sure. I didn't want to have to pay capital gains in case I needed to and had the opportunity to have a larger space if I do decide to remarry in a couple years or a year and a half. So Nancy is joining us from the Pacific Northwest. You all know how much I love the Pacific Northwest. Where in the Pacific Northwest are you from, Nancy? I would love to know. Okay, we had somebody, my writing is so bad, ask, will you still be close to your parents' house? So I just answered that question, yes. Let's see, do we have any questions? I've been watching since the Quints were babies. Thank you. It's been quite the journey. A lot of things that I don't think Dad nor I foresaw originally when we had the kids. Nancy says she's from where? Nancy, answer that again one more time. These comments are coming in really fast. Megan's from Rhode Island. Welcome. She's just hopping on. Okay, I will be watching for more comments and questions. I had a lot of questions again come in about dating. I don't know why everybody's so curious, so I'm happy to talk about that. It looks so lovely on your skin tone. I missed the first part of your question. You're welcome to say that again. Lisa's from Mississippi. Your children are precious. They absolutely are. And I just want to say, like, life does look different than where Dad and I originally started out, but I think there's a lot of love for these kids from both he and I, and the kids feel that. And so I think love makes all the difference. And I love that we're still called 5 to Love. It just looks a little different now. Patricia is joining us from Georgia. Let's see, Vandy says watching from the beginning. Haya from New Zealand. Maria, it's good to see you on here. Okay, so one of the questions that came in, Tamara C25 says, can you tell us more about your boyfriend? Will he be on the vlogs? Yes, I can tell you right now, his name is Chad, and he's fine if I share that part with you today. His name is Chad, and he's really a wonderful person. I think I've told you he has 3 kids. He has nice legs. For those of you that have noticed that in the vlog, he's kind of thinner. He's a thinner build. Been watching you since you were pregnant with all the Quints. So you've been around here a long time. Jody is from Bristol, from the UK. And Wendy is hopping on here as well. Welcome. How is little grandma? How does she cope? I missed that. And we've got people joining us from Norway. Little grandma's doing well. I didn't see her this last Sunday because we were up was it this last Sunday? We were up at my parents' cabin, and then we dropped the kids off with their dad right after we got home from the cabin. So usually we get together for Sunday dinners and we see little grandma. So I haven't talked to her or seen her in about a week. She is doing good. She is our favorite. What you see is what you get with little grandma. So those of you that have seen her on the vlogs, she's exactly like that in real life. Anybody that's watching this right now and actually knows little grandma personally, you are welcome to attest to that. She really is just an angel, and she's been that way from the beginning. I think originally when Logan's water broke, she was so concerned about the quintuplets and about that little boy. And so ever since that point in time, the first time she met Logan, she has just always had a soft spot and special place in her heart for Logan Matthew. She just loves him. And so anyway, and Daisy's actually been talking a lot about little grandma as of late. She loves going over to little grandma's place. She lives in a little townhome, and little grandma has never played favorites. She has 17 grandchildren, and she's been close to each one of us, and she has loved us all the same but differently. And all of us grandkids, I think, can say that. So we live in Washington State. We've had people living in Dubai, cousins. We've had locals to St. George, Utah. All over the place. And anytime we come and see her, it's like coming home. I always feel like I want to take a nap there because she's just so loving, so kind. She's always up for making cinnamon rolls for some of her grandkids, or quesadillas. That's my favorite thing that she makes. We used to call him cheese crisp when she would make them like in the oven. So anyway, little grandma's doing well. We absolutely love her. Shout out to little grandma who's watching this. She is the best. What is little grandma's real name? So she is my dad's mother, and her name is Jacqueline, but she goes by Jackie. Will the children be going to school on the first day from your house or Skylar's? That is a great question, Astrid. So Skylar and I have done our calendar through the summer, and then I'll be writing that up and submitting that to my co-parent here probably in the next couple days, because we'll be discussing that. So we switched from 1 week on, 1 week off. It just makes transitions with quintuplets so much easier. I think if we didn't have quintuplets, I'd probably do the typical 2 days on, 2 days off and alternate weekends. But with quintuplets, that is a lot of back to school. How old are Chad's kids? How are you planning to introduce families? And how do you know when the time is right? Good question. I am still new at this dating stuff. I didn't date a ton in high school, and I really didn't date that much in college. So I don't have a lot of dating experience. So in this particular situation, I've dated other people, but I didn't introduce my children to any of these people. Originally, I had dated Austin, which I think most of you knew about. He is from Idaho Falls, is where he's living currently. He didn't meet my kids until about 6 months in, and it was actually at the Quintuplets' birthday party. But we wanted to see each other one last time before we broke up because it just wasn't mutual of moving forward in the progression of the relationship. And so that is the only person dating-wise that my kids had ever met, that they had kind of seen him through FaceTime, and they had enjoyed sending him emojis. So for the most part, with other people that I had dated casually since that time, I have not wanted to introduce my kids to any of these people just until I felt comfortable and knew them. So as far as Chad, my kids actually met him on the first date. We met up at a splash pad. It was very casual. And his original profile picture, he's very professional. He does work for the county of St. George. And so in his original picture, I was kind of able to kind of look him up, and he just seemed like a very down-to-earth, easygoing person. And so I thought, well, meeting up at a park, that's pretty casual. I can do that. And then after that, I don't think my kids really saw him or knew too much about him. They just thought he was somebody random at the park. But as we have been dating for about 11, 12 weeks now, he's been around my kids a little bit more. My kids really like him. He gets down on their level. He's very patient. Since he's a dad himself, he understands both boys and girls. And he was actually really surprised when I told him. I actually met him through a dating app, and it was through speed dating. I met him through 2 different apps, and he reached out and talked to me on Facebook dating app, and I didn't respond back, and I deleted the app because I was kind of scared with the whole dating thing, and every once in a while I feel like that. And so anyway, he connected again on the LDS Mutual app. So he is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints like me. I'll be getting into that because a question just came in about that. So I will be responding to that. And so I told him like once almost the 5 minutes were up with the speed dating that I did have quintuplets, because I'm always right up front with people about that so that they know going into it, just my family dynamic. And so he thought that was really cool. So he's been really good with the kids and open-minded, and they really like him. What are you looking forward to most about the move is Caitlin's question. I'm excited to have a more open floor concept main living room area and kitchen space. It is not a large kitchen, but I feel like it's a better layout than what I had before. And there's a lot better lighting for both filming, for pictures. And I just feel happier in this space. And I'm excited because there won't be a wall dividing the kitchen from the family room, so I can see what my kids are up to. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited because the kids are going to have an upstairs loft, an area for them to play in. Now the rooms are going to be smaller, but I think that upstairs teen hangout / playroom area, I think all the kids are gonna love it. So I am excited about that. And again, it's light, bright, cheery, open, and it's a new build. So I'm the first person to live in this space. So I'm really excited about that. Does it have a yard is Chris's question. No, it was between the house with the backyard, the townhome, or a loft. I chose the loft, and I really, really went over that. So this property came with it's kind of like a porch area. So I know that I can put, I know Walmart's having a ton of clearance on their patio sets right now. I'm hoping to find maybe even a mini trampoline where the kids can just get their wiggles out that I can set on that cement patio, and then just kind of a lounge area for the kids to sit, maybe even those swings that I know senior citizens love. Just like the swings, where you can fit 2 people on there and the kids can have a conversation and swing and get their wiggles out after school. So that is kind of my creative idea. Anybody that's done townhome living, apartment style living, smaller spaces, if you have any ideas for that back porch area, I will be showing that in the up and coming vlog. I would love to hear your ideas that are creative on that, but it really was down to a loft or a backyard. Those were really only the options available that I could afford in the same school district as my children, which was #1 top priority. Second top priority was finding a 4-bedroom or a 3rd bedroom with an office that I could turn into a 4-bedroom. Is it one you've shown us, Chris? Yes, it is one of the houses that I have shown you. And this property, I actually toured 4 different properties on that exact same street. 3 of them were for sale, 2 of them were for rent, and this one by far, hands down, was better out of all 4. So it comes with a refrigerator, it comes with a washer and dryer. The house with the backyard, while it was a little bit cheaper, in the end, it was the exact same price, but this one has more square footage than the other house, and I think the kids will be really grateful for that. So I am looking at this as the next year temporarily where we'll be. We'll see what other opportunities become available to our family, and also other properties. They are starting to build a lot more in my community, so hopefully there's more options then, and hopefully interest rates are cheaper, and hopefully in a couple years I find some sweet man and we choose to get married. So we will see. I had a funny phone call from a gal that went to go get her haircut at a salon the other day, and the gals were gabbing about this and that, and she was like, I gotta know, I need to know if this is true and all that. And I was like, well, we're talking about that, but I talk about that with everyone potentially that I'm dating, just because in some ways dating at 40 with quintuplets and 2 kids as a single mom, it's almost like a job interview. So you just have to be a realist about that. So I am loving though the companionship of that. So you guys are asking really good questions. Okay, another question came in from Amy Simmons about being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Can you share some rules you follow when it comes to dating, being LDS? So it's probably the same as just about anybody else. But as a single woman, as a single mom, It's really important to me to have somebody with high values, high morals, and high standards, because I don't ever want to be put into a situation where I feel unsafe or I'm in somebody's like personal space and I don't know how to get out of that. And so for me, as far as like going through the Facebook dating app or like this LDS mutual dating app, I've looked for people that attend church. I think in my particular situation, that's important to me, because I don't want to marry anybody that's a project. I want somebody who attends the temple that I attend, so worships in the same space that I worship in. Am I opposed to marrying or dating someone that's not of my same faith? No, I'm not opposed to that, as so long as they're a good man and are really, really good to my kids. Okay, Randy says tons and tons of parks in this area. Okay, I'm really hoping that I live next to you, Randy. I don't know, but I know that there's kids, so I'm excited about that, and I'm hoping that there's parks. And there are always parks in the St. George, Utah area that my kids can go to. It's just gonna be a drive. So going back to Amy Simmons' question, as far as looking for red flags, I'm really quick about that. I don't want anybody narcissistic. Those are easy to kind of see if there are a lot of like gym pics when it comes to like dating. I've always swiped no on those, not interested in those types of people. Somebody that just looks clean cut, down to earth, easygoing, like we might have a lot in common. Those are the people that I've been interested in getting to know in dating. So going on actual dates, I've always met people in a public place, such as a restaurant, a place to eat, because it's just naturally easier to have conversations and get to know people. And then if I like them, I've gone out to ice cream after, or we continue the conversation and go for a walk. So I have dated people that way. As far as dating being LDS, standards of dating, I think since I have kids that do view these and they're teenagers, I'll just keep it like very clean with what I say here. But as far as like having high moral standards when it comes to dating, that's important to me. So any premarital, I think some of you know what I mean by that, is off the table for me. Because I want to be a woman of virtue. So we will just leave it there. But as far as like hand holding, kissing, things like that, I'm very comfortable with that. Physical affection, I'm very comfortable with that when it comes to dating. And I think it's important in getting to know someone, if it's a good fit, if there's chemistry, if there's sparks, things like that. So I hope that answers your question, Amy. When it comes to dating being LDS, it's probably similar to a lot of women. So those are just standards that I abide by in my personal life that are important to me. Samantha asks, has Daisy got her other ears pierced yet? Daisy decided to take out her one and only earring. So when we took her into Claire's, there was only one gal working there. And I wasn't thinking straight, and I didn't realize that usually they have two gals and they pierce the ears at the exact same time. Skylar, their dad, had taken in all three girls, and Daisy didn't want to do it. She was too scared. So Violet and Lily have their ears pierced. They love it. They've done great with it. Daisy was hesitant. I brought her in, not realizing that Skylar had them both done at the same time. I'd forgotten, like, it's been a long time since I've had my ears pierced. And so Daisy was not going to have her other ear pierced by the gal. It just hurt too bad. She was too scared, and she didn't like how her ear felt. So she took the earring out last week and instructed me that she no longer wanted her ears pierced and was never going to again. So we'll see. Daisy, I love that she's finding her voice and telling me how she thinks and feels, and her dad too. So yeah, she's not a fan of earrings. She thought they were cute, but not that cute, apparently. So if she decides to get her ears pierced again, I will let you all know. I did try filming a segment of that, but I didn't actually film it when she was getting her ears pierced, because Daisy, I just want to be very respectful of that. So the only thing I had originally filmed, Joy asked, Mormon and Mormons are Christians. Yes. So our church, we teach and preach from the Bible. We talk a lot about Jesus Christ, and being good citizens to our community and loving everyone. So yeah, I have had that question asked before, and we actually have a lot in common with a lot of other church religions and congregations, which is kind of cool. So I like looking at different religions, and I like finding things that I have in common with people and that they have in common with me, instead of just talking about always the differences between people. So And when I was considering moving to Texas with Skylar, my kid's dad, right before the separation, we met a group of people that were of a different faith than us. But we were really starting to talk religion with them, and they were actually sharing their religion with us, this community, this group of people. And we actually had a lot in common with them. And I was surprised just how much we talked about how we had so much in common with these different groups of peoples and these different groups of religions as we were getting to know these communities and potentially moving to Texas, which ultimately we decided not to. I did share that in a vlog a while ago about the divorce, for those of you that watched that. Okay, I had a question come in from Jean Faye. Do you make freezer meals, and what are your typical dinner menus? So I've talked about this. I've talked about this before. My kids, the quintuplets, do have food allergies and sensitivities. And so we're a little more limited at times with what we make as far as spices and things that the whole family can eat. But as far as freezer meals, my ultimate favorite freezer meal is Little Grandma's spaghetti recipe. I don't know if I've shared that with you guys before. I think years ago I might have shared it in a vlog. It's really good. If any of you have made it, I think I did share it. It's really good, and you can stretch it out. You can freeze it, and then anytime you have company coming over or like Sunday dinner, you can make it in advance in a crock pot and then just pop it in. You can also add like tomato paste or tomato sauce, and just stretch it out, and it's so good. So that is my favorite one, but a lot of the quintuplets are allergic to tomatoes. They break out in hives, rashes, they get itchy. Violet gets incredibly ornery with her food allergies, so we just avoid those, but it really is good. So, okay, next question is from Becky Lynn. I wrote this really fast, so if I am mispronouncing your name, I'm sorry. What's your favorite kind of music to listen to when the kids aren't around? I have been adding new music to my playlist a lot, and some of it is actually country, surprisingly. I do love me some good Taylor Swift any day. My favorite all-time artist is Ben Rector. He has some just incredible lyrics, and he's just like salt of the earth type of a guy. So I really like him. So the person I'm dating, Chad, he listens to a lot of country, and he just played the funniest song for me yesterday on the way home. He was like, you need to look up, I think it's called The Clip and Curl. I forget what the artist name, but it's a country song, and it's really funny about a beautician, and it was really relatable after my conversation with a girlfriend yesterday. So I just thought that was funny. My other favorite artist, I really like Ingrid Michaelson. I like music like the piano guys, where it's just like cello, violin, a piano. I like being able to hear the artist sing. So I don't like things that are too much like symphonies, because it's just overwhelming to me. So I'm kind of sensitive when it comes to music. I'm trying to think any other. I've been listening to AJR. Like, I think my last neighborhood, the main singer of AJR, his mother lived in my neighborhood. And so my teenage boys love listening to AJR. So there's a few songs that I really like The Good Part is the song I've been listening to while I hop in the shower every morning. So that is a song that I'm really loving right now. Let's see, another question that came in was from... This is from Instagram, so it's not actually people's names. So I'll just state the question. Which Quint is the most outgoing, and which Quint reminds you of yourself? I know I've answered one of these before. I think Daisy reminds me the most of myself. She's an introvert. She's always thinking, and she feels deeply. She's incredibly empathetic. She feels what others feel. She's very intuitive. She loves being outdoors. She loves nature. She loves flowers. So I probably am most like Daisy. Which Quint is the most outgoing? Do any of you have any guesses? Violet's super spunky. Outgoing, I think she's a little more shy out in public. Outgoing, maybe Lincoln, but Lincoln can also be a little fiery socially, so I don't know. Lily is kind of a social butterfly, so maybe Lily. Maybe it would have to be Lily, I'd say. Which of the Quints, this is from Julianne, which of the girls do you see continuing with their singing? I filmed actually a larger portion of the segment where you could actually hear the children singing the songs, and I think Lily actually just naturally has it. If a child has it, I'd say it's Lily. But it was really fun seeing Daisy light up. And since her vocal lessons, and we just did the one time with Mina with Melissa, Daisy now sings in the car, and it's darling. So she really likes singing a song called I Am a Child of God. And it's just this little like primary little kid song that's just sweet. I know a lot of Christians have another song that they sing. Now I can't think of it. That's really sweet. Can any of you think of it? It's one that a lot of little kids sing. Something about like knowing that they're loved by God or something. I can't think of what it is. If you can think of it, put it in the comments. I'm trying to think. I know. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Like, that's not one we normally sing in our primary songs at church with the kids, but I think my kids might know that song. I would love to teach my kids that one because it would be just darling to hear them sing that. And then it's been fun to see Vivi's confidence when it comes to singing. So they were just really excited. And Mina has been doing singing lessons or music time with all of the quintuplets since they were about 1 year old, and they were just in high chairs, and all they could do was like signing and just kind of humming. And so it's been fun to see the natural progression of these kids when it comes to music, musical instruments, and singing and voice. So I am excited to see what comes next for the quintuplets, and we may introduce the little boys occasionally with singing lessons as well. We're just trying to get the hang of it with the girls first and let them take the lead on that. I think developmentally, in a lot of ways, little girls that are preemies, that are quintuplets, they just are quicker to learn those new concepts and things like that. So that's why we started with just the girls first. Sandra asks, what sports are the quins keen on? I am still impressed with little Logan. Over the last few days that he was at my house, he would just be in the middle of the floor and be like, hey mom, watch this. And he can just do a headstand without any support, without anybody helping him or touching him. We've got Lana joining us from Wisconsin. Hi, Lana, welcome. So his abdominal strength, he gets that from his dad's side of the family. So a lot of those boys ended up being really good at football. Skylar has 10 children in his family, 9 living. The first one died as a baby. He was preemie. And so 9 siblings, and all of the men in that family just naturally, I think, are just built strong. So as far as like abdominal muscles, just naturally, and then like those calf muscles, like they're just solid. And so I think Logan genetically reminds me a lot of the Scott side. I am an 80-year-old one Swiftie for a year now. Howdy, sister. Karen, I love Taylor Swift. And I like my Get Up and Go song right now is actually, I really like the song Me. I like Betty, her song Betty. And then I also like the song The Man. I think it's just like really catchy. Sometimes when I'm waking up in the morning, I need a song that's like my polar opposite, that kind of pulls me out of my comfort zone, wakes me up in the morning. So I'm really loving the Taylor Swift music right now. And she sings a song with Ed Sheeran that's so good. And I did listen to an Ed Sheeran song this morning that was so good as well. Carla says good genes. Yes, I think the Scott side of the family, when it comes to like muscle mass and all of that, a lot of the guys just have like naturally those good genes. And I think they come from my father, my former father-in-law, his side of the family. So that's pretty cool, especially if they want to do wrestling or play football. I think a lot of those boys were really successful over on the Scott side, choosing to play those sports. But Skylar, their dad, he did wrestling, he did football, he was talented, he was good at that, but ultimately he went into theater and found that that was his cup of tea. He was very good at it, very charismatic. And the first time I actually ever, I don't know that I ever met him, but he was in a play, and I remember going to see that when I was about 13 years old. It was Diary of Anne Frank, and he played Peter, the main lead, and I thought he did such a fabulous job. And I just finished learning about the Holocaust and read the Diary of Anne Frank, and so I was really moved by his performance as an actor. And so it'll be interesting because we, you know, both Dad and I have different talents, different things we were passionate about growing up. So it'll be fun to see what the kids choose for themselves. And then we've got big brothers that are totally into different things than both Dad and I were interested in. We've got big brother Shayden, who's doing soccer. I'll cover that in a moment of what he's up to with all that. And Shayden went into choir and loved that. And then Landon's really into guitar and choir. So everybody's just different in our family. So we'll see. But I do think that Lily has that natural performing ability. Carla says, and their dad is also extremely funny. He is. Very quick-witted for sure. So I think Lily definitely has that theatrical performing arts vibe. I see Logan is wanting to do like gymnastics, sports, that sort of thing. We'll see what Lincoln's into. Lincoln kind of needs that direction to channel all of his extra energy. And so it'll be interesting to see what Lincoln chooses that he wants to do. Originally, Shayden actually started out in baseball and t-ball and then decided to go with soccer. So we'll just have to see. Okay, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to take questions. I have covered all of them that came in for the most part in the DMs between Instagram and Facebook. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Caroline is from Detroit. Welcome. Glad you are joining us. We've got a pretty big audience today. I'm so excited for back to school. I don't know if any of you moms are feeling the heat of summer and just ready for the kids to go back to school. I know I am. I'm ready to have that consistency, especially with moving, of knowing that the kids are back in school, that they're learning a lot of things. We've had a lot of fun times, a lot of great experiences this summer, and the kids have they've been able to do like some fun things that we haven't really done before. Going out to the lake, up at String Lake, up in Jackson Hole, that was really fun. Going up to the cabin, riding four-wheelers, making new friends, going to birthday parties. Like, we've just had a great time. I brought up Shayden. I just talked to him yesterday. He's doing really well. So he is moved in to his dorms. He has a couple of new roommates. They're from Germany. Jill is joining us from Minnesota. Come to our Mall of America. I've never been there. I hear it's amazing. That would be really fun. Sandra is joining us from Virginia. Really enjoy your videos. Thank you. I'm so glad that you watch them. I have had to learn the art of social media over the last 3 years since the separation and divorce. Skylar primarily, my kid's dad, was doing it, and he's really good at that. He went to school and graduated with a degree in directing theater. So it was kind of his cup of tea, and I just was happy being a wife and a mom, and that was really all I wanted to do. So just occasionally I was kind of in the vlogs, but not like primarily full center. So that was kind of weird to make that transition. I've been really quiet the beginning of the vlog, so I've come a long way with my confidence and my ability to do this, but it's still a learning curve for me. So I'm grateful you guys watch. Mary is from Jasper, Indiana. Welcome. So Shayden just moved into his dorms. He has 2 new roommates. They are from Germany. They are bilingual, and they're really talented. So he's really excited to get to know them a little bit better. And Shayden told me that this year there are 2 team captains out of, I think, 41 players or something like that. And he is one out of the 2 team captains. And so he's really excited about that. He's getting back into shape. He did have an injury, so he is doing some physical therapy for that. He injured himself over the summer. We've got somebody joining us from Portland, Oregon. I've been watching since the littles were newborn. You are fabulous. Fantabulous, Mom. Oh, that's fun to say. That is fun to say. Well, thank you. That's really kind. May God bless you moving into your new home and your relationship with, sorry, can't remember the name of your new guy. His name is Chad. He's darling, and I'm excited for you guys to get to meet him. So yeah, we are just excited for Shayden. He worked really hard this last summer, was able to put some money away so that he doesn't have to work as hard as he was last summer, going to school full-time and playing at a collegiate level soccer. So anyway, we are just really proud of him as a family. He is a wonderful human being. He's still dating Tatum. He's kind, he's respectful, he works hard, he's passionate about what he does. He still is studying social work, getting his generals in. So he's just doing really, really well. Shayden is going to be our Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he would love to be able to play professionally. Like, that would be his dream job. But in the meantime, he's happy to be a young adult, just having the time of his life. So I'm just really proud of him. He really learned a lot of just, inflation and the cost of living and what it's like to balance school with work and family and friends and downtime. And so anyway, he's excited. He's on scholarship this semester. He's got extra in his savings. And he's excited to meet kids from multiple countries all over the world. So he's just really excited. We're really proud of him and excited just to see where things go with he and his cute girlfriend, Tatum. She's darling. So for those of you who haven't watched our last Facebook Live, Tatum is in that along with Shayden, and we answer a whole bunch of questions that came in for them. She is wonderful. I really love her family. I went to school with her mom in high school. I don't really remember her mom because she's slightly younger than me, but her mom remembers me and thinks I was a nice person, so I guess that's good. So yeah, Shayden's just doing really, really well. So back to school night is this afternoon. I'm excited. I will be attending that and just getting to know my kids' teachers. So just a lot of good things to come, and I'm excited. So any of you moms that are excited for back to school, I am with you. I'm kind of sad that the summer is coming to an end. I wish I had more time with that. And my homeschool moms, y'all are just amazing. I considered homeschooling my kids about 3 years ago, and I just, hats off to you moms that homeschool your kids or have homeschooled your kids. I just think that's remarkable. So anyway, we are excited to go back to school night. Like if I zoomed out and you guys could see I'm at my parents' right now, like this house is just ready to be moved. There's boxes all along the sides of here. I've got the locker systems with like all my kids here. We'll just turn this. Let's just get real. All of this right here needs to go to the house, and all of this stuff right here needs to be moved into the new house. So I'm gonna go run over a load of all of that stuff today, meet up with my sweet boyfriend after this, and then we're gonna attend back to school night and meet the teachers. So yeah, just good things to come. So thank you all for watching this. I love each one of you. Thank you for supporting these kids by watching these videos, giving thumbs up, following, subscribing. It really provides opportunities and experiences for the quintuplets in doing so, in supporting these kids as quintuplets. So supporting me, supporting their dad and what we choose to do for a living, and with what we choose to share with you all. So very grateful for each one of you. And I'm gonna get packing and get moving and get to back to school night. Love you all. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and stay tuned for my next vlog. I'll be showing you the new house that we picked out. I've started moving stuff in, and I'm brainstorming how I want to decorate. I think some of the kids are going to need bunk beds and different dressers because we need the vertical space. So if you have any tips about renting apartments, townhomes, so far I've done this before, but vertical storage is how we're going to do it. So anyway, love you all. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.